Alrighty, and here's the video review for Generations Triple Changer BLITZWING Voyager class. You saw some size comparisons with his animated counterpart there in the opening scroll. But here he is. He's a tank right now. Here he is with Springer right now. So yeah, there he is. He's a tank. He does have a rotating turret. It rotates a little further in front of what you consider a standard pivot point on a tank, but it does have a rotating turret. Some people complained about the gappiness in the back, and I find that if you fold the feet up with the tail fins kind of up into there like that, it covers a lot of those holes and makes it look a lot more solid back there. So yeah, not perfect, but I mean, it's a triple changer. There are some leeways taken to get everything in there, but it's a pretty solid tank. You can plug the sword in over here or on the sides, and same with the gun. I like to put it right up here just to make it a little bit more symmetrical. It does fire a missile. You just pull back on the cannon here, and the missile launches out kind of weakly. But that's the missile launching gimmick. I'm going to go ahead and leave the missile out because when you're transforming him, it's real easy to pull this out and launch the missile accidentally. So I'm just going to set that off to the side, but he does have a kind of weak missile launching gimmick there out of the tip of the turret. We're going to do kind of a full circle mode on him because the instructions show you how to go from robot to jet and then from robot to tank. So we're going to go from tank to jet to robot, or we're going to go from tank to robot to jet and then back to tank? Yeah. I don't know. No, maybe we'll go from tank to jet to robot to tank, just to show them off. Fair enough? Fair enough. So to get to jet mode, pull this off. You really don't have to separate them for where they're going in jet mode, but if you want to separate the two weapons, he's got a sword and a hand pistol. Now to get to jet mode, basically, you just unpeg these side parts of the turret, rotate them down like this, and then now this peg, this little panel that was up here on the top, pegs into the middle of the turret like that, and they're going to sit like this. You want to take these panels, and a lot of pictures and stuff I've seen have not had these panels folded out, but there are panels down here that, if I can get them unattached, that pop in, that fold up to fill in those gaps, and then plug in down here. You got to get them lined up. There we go. Plug it out here at the waist. So you open these up, and then you collapse the thighs back in, or like this, these pieces collapse those back in like that. You take the cockpit out from underneath here, flip it up, flip the gun up a little bit like this, flip it up and around, snap it into place. His head keeps liking to push that rubber nose cone out. We'll get to the nose cone in a little bit. Not as bad as some people have been saying it is, but it's still kind of a minor annoyance. Flip the gun down and around underneath here. There we go. Right now we're going to leave it sticking out the back. I'll show you a different use for it in jet mode. So now we've got all that done. The legs, you come out, you pull the treads down, flip this part of the tread up into here, flip the wing out, and there's a little panel underneath here that folds down to about right there. It's supposed to lock into place, but because it's just kind of one of those friction clips here, it doesn't. But you can see there's a little tab hole right here, and it sits about right here if you get it lined up right, just to fill out the wing. Rotate this to the side, close the tread back up, and then push this back up into the body like that. And then you take this, and you kind of have to, this under here is going to go up into a clip underneath here, and then snap into place under here, so you kind of have to rotate it under. You want to get it under that, it has to come up from underneath that little slot here where it's going to go in, because it flares out a little bit. But yeah, bring that in up underneath, and then just kind of snap it into place on the bottom. Just kind of rotate it that last second. Let's see if I can get a better look at what we're doing over here. So again, pop the tread off. Pull the wing out. And then to see that from the other side, here's that panel coming down to fill out the wing to about right there. Push this in. And then again, kind of slide it in like this so that lines up. This tab right here lines up with this slot. And then right as you kind of put it in like that, and then rotate and snap this in. And that'll hold that very firmly in place. And then you just bring the ailerons out back here. His feet kind of form a little, you can kind of open the feet up a little bit if you want to give him some jet thrusters. If you want. You can leave them closed. I think they look fine closed as well. But you can do that. And that's mostly his jet mode. Which does, like I said, once you get everything pegged together, holds together very solidly. Then you take the sword and you plug it in backwards like this to fill in that gap. And then the gun can peg in right up here. And there's his jet mode. You can also take this gun and peg it in. There's a peg hole in the turret. You can peg it in under there, which I kind of like. It makes it a little harder. It doesn't sit flat, but I like the look of it under there if you're just playing with it. Also, if you want, the tank turret gun can be flipped forward and underneath the jet to give him a big undergun, if you so choose. Otherwise, it just kind of sits out, sticking out the back here. Also, one of the other things I like is if you fold these up and then kind of angle these panels up a little bit, it kind of looks like a Macross Valk with a fast pack on. So cool there. So yeah, both of the vehicle modes are, once you get them all figured out right, are surprisingly solid and not nearly as gappy and loose as initial reports were led to believe. The nose cone here is still an issue. You can see it's kind of, the head springs forward and it's this soft rubber, so it's kind of pushing the nose cone up and warping a little bit. So it's not a huge gap, but there is a gap up here. That's a little annoying. Apparently, like, some people are saying there's a mechanism that holds the head down to the nose cone, and I've seen some pictures where the head is staying down in there, and I have no idea how that's happening. Some people say theirs broke after one time. Mine never worked. Like, my head never stayed down in there. It's not. And the thing is, I even took all this apart and pulled the whole nose cone apart, and I see no evidence of any mechanism in there to hold the head down. I didn't see anything snapped off that would have held the head in place. I didn't see anything. There were no loose bits floating around of anything broken. Like, I saw no evidence that there was anything to hold that head down, aside from just having the nose cone snapped in. Which, again, with the pressure of the spring and the soft rubber, it's kind of, you can see it kind of starts to stretch around here at the cockpit. There's also nothing in the instructions about how to, see if I can find them here, about the head snapping down into place. The instructions on both sides just say, when you get to a certain point, it's just, let's see if I can get this in here. It's just, hey look, from here, flip up the nose cone, that's it. There's nothing about pushing his head down, it's just flip up the nose cone. And it's the same on the other side. At no point does it say anything about the head locking into place or how to release the head. So I have no idea what's up with that. If there's something broken on mine, maybe. If anybody else wants to take it apart or show how that works, great. But I don't think there's anything that, like, I didn't break anything opening it, it just never worked. So I don't know what the deal on that head is, and the instructions are unclear. So if there's something I'm missing or missed, it's possible. But like I said, I took the whole thing apart and saw no evidence of anything in there that said that mine was working improperly, so I don't know. But anyway, so on to robot mode. It's a minor, like I said, it's not a huge complaint. You can see it's holding together. It's got a little bit of a gap, but you know, what can you do? And it is soft rubber, and the purple isn't quite a perfect match. But other than that, it's actually, it's not horrible. It's grown on me, certainly. So, on to robot mode. I just unpeg the legs here, which should not be this hard. There you go, pull them out. It helps if you, again, kind of do the twist thing to get them up. Rotate them around like this. Treads go front, then the wings, fold that piece up. Go ahead and fold the foot around, and then just collapse the wing down as far as it goes. It won't go all the way in. It comes down to about like that. But just push the wing in against the tread, clip out the foot, and then just kind of position that on the side however you wish. And again, rotate it around, flip that piece up. There we go. You can see there's a little tab that locks it out right here. On this side, for some reason, you have to kind of whoop it back in there. So whatever. And flip that up and around. So there's his legs. And then up here, you want to go ahead and open these up to the side. Pull the gun up and over, back and down back here. You can see you can see a couple of like the two divots here, and the 2 divots here is how it locks into this piece. Now, we'll do the official way first, which is to have the gun sticking up like this. I like to fold it down, but again, we'll show you how it's officially supposed to go. The cockpit flips up like this, snaps into place, and then again, you just pull this rubber nose cone up, and it's supposed to fold back down into this area behind the nose cone, have the nose cone sticking up. His head pops up, and Bob's your uncle. Now, you open these up. The shoulders are an issue, and I will show you what's up with these shoulders here, because I found a way to lock them. But basically how it works is this whole panel, you lift this up, and you can see this whole shoulder area is just a bunch of folding panels. And then this tab right here is supposed to lock into this little tab, this little slot, and this tab, and then there's like a top. It's like, if you look at this, you can see there's kind of an upside down U shape on this, and there's a tab that goes into that slot, and then a piece that sticks up that's supposed to go over the top part of this to hold it in place. And you can see there it is sitting in place, and where it's supposed to go. There's the tab and everything, and it likes to flop around. You know, moving the arm likes to unhook it. I'll show you how to hook it on. At least on mine it works. So, but anyway, you flip the arm down around like this, rotate it around, and then flip this cup around. He does have a wrist swivel, which is nice. Elbow joints swivels here. And same on the other side. Bring this down and in. Flip that back. Rotate. Flip it this way on the shoulder. Rotate that around. And there you go. Now, the trick I have found to, and I'm going to over-exaggerate this a little bit, is that when you go to bring this down in and tab this in, see how this is straight and this is like a 90-degree angle. When you go to tab it in, you bend this hinge a little bit, which is fine. That's how it's designed. And you set it in there and you think, okay, it's good. You know, like that's right there. And it feels kind of solid, but when you go to move it, it unlatches. I found that once this is down, if you take this, you can kind of see how it's kind of making a 7 shape. It's over and it's angling in a little bit. If you take this hinge right here, put your thumb right here and support it, and just bend that out. So just kind of push right here. Hold it in place up here against the tab and push in right there so this becomes more of a 90-degree angle. Look at that. It locks that shoulder piece right in place to the point where I can even just hang this guy by it and it's not coming loose. I can go like this all day and it's not coming loose. You just got to push that hinge joint in a little bit, which causes this whole thing to force that piece up into the tab, and it locks in place very securely. And same on the other side. You push it in, get it like that, and when you get it at the kind of 7 or reverse 7 angle, just put your thumb right here and then just push right there on that hinge to pull it forward. And again, same thing. Like before, it looks like it's on the tab, it's underneath the lip, it's on the tab, and it looks solid, and it's not. You put your thumb right there, straighten that hinge, and there you go. So that's the mystery of the hinge. I hope it works for all of you guys, because that was a huge godsend when I found that. So yeah, there is Blitzwing in robot mode. And like I said, here's the turret does like to, they have it so it sticks up on the back like that. Not horrible, but I don't care for it. I found that if you lift the nose cone up, you can actually bring this down like this, bring this whole hinge up and plug it in so it kind of sits like this. Maybe you want to bring it a little bit out. But then you can take this and pull it all the way back at this hinge and then rotate it kind of up like it's going into jet mode at the second hinge up here. And you can get it, with him all pegged in, you can have it sit behind his head. There's nothing sticking up behind him. You can kind of see his turret coming down behind him a little bit there, but it doesn't look as bad. It's not this huge tower sticking up. Also, I like to take these wings and just flow them back around to the back. So it gives him more of a pure robot silhouette. Entirely up to you, but that's how I do it. You can hold his sword. You can hold his gun. Now again, one of the reasons that I think this rubber nose cone is a bit of an issue, and wouldn't be an issue if his head was a little smaller, because they gave his head the spinny gimmick. And here he is with his animated counterpart, who, as you remember, had 3 faces. He had the angry face with the visor. he had the crazy face, and then he had the other face with the monocle. And this guy's got the same thing. They don't rotate side to side. If you take, there's his angry face. You rotate it up, and there's his crazy face. I don't know if you can see that, but he has his, there we go. He's got his crazy face. And then flip it up one more time, and he's got his monocle face. So let's see if we can, yeah, you see he's got the monocle face there. So yeah, he's got the three-face gimmick. I feel like if they had left that out, the helmet might be a little smaller and wouldn't cause quite as much pressure pushing on the nose cone. But, you know, what can you do at this point? Just how it is. So yeah, but there he is. I prefer the monocle face, but the angry face is fine as well. The crazy face looks a little silly on this body, but you don't have to use it. So it's a nice little extra feature that you don't have to worry about if you don't want to use it. So yeah, there's them together. Here he is with the other lug nut. Maybe a little bigger out of scale, but if you want to have non-animated lug nut and Blitzwing together, you can do so. And just to go full circle, we'll go from robot mode to tank, just to wrap it all up. So yeah, and then this will showcase my issue with the nose cone here. So you flip these, you kind of do it in reverse. You flip these panels back or over the fist. You want to make sure the fist, like I said, the fists rotate. So you want to make sure that they're lined up here, because if you have them off to the side, you'll end up, these are just held in by like little pins and friction. There's no pin that goes through it. So if you don't have that lined up, this will get caught on it and just pop off. So just a heads up there. So do that. Bring the arms up above his head here. Now the nose cone, like I said, you push his head down, which is suddenly staying in place. Yeah, see, I don't know how I'm not aware of any secret mechanism. I don't know how that decided to just stay that one time. And I think that's how people are getting it. I think people are getting it to do it that first time and then thinking it's broken. But there's no indication that it's supposed to lock in place like that. That was, of course it works on the video, but like I said, there's no mechanism in there for latching this in place. It's just a couple of slide levers. You know, there's a couple notches on this and a couple notches in the side of that just slide through, and then a spring. There's no mechanism to latch it. But anyway, you push his head in, and you push the cone over, and it's a soft rubber, so you kind of have to get your thumbnail right there and push that under so that tabs in. You can lift this. That's the thing. You can lift this up a little bit to peg that the front of the cockpit into the nose cone a little bit, and it'll hold a little better. You can see it kind of starting to stretch and warp around that peg, though, just because of the pressure of the spring. A slightly less powerful spring or a smaller head might, or a hard plastic nose cone might have fixed that, but there it is. So and you just leave that in place right there. So you go ahead and undo the shoulders, and again, easy enough to do if you bend that hinge in and then just unhook it like that. Just bend the hinge out exactly the opposite of what we did before. Leave that up. So you come around here. This comes up just like that. Rotate this around so it's on the side, so it kind of curves toward the turret. And again, just peg this right into the. There's a tab right here and a slot right there on the purple piece on the back. Plug that in. Same over here. Flip the fin tip. Okay, helps if you have that all straightened up. But flip those in. There we go. Then down here, you pull these waist panels up. You can see they're on some supports there. Rotate them around like this. Rotate this so the tread's on the bottom. Pull the tread out. And you kind of have to get under here. Right in here, you flip this tread piece. You have to get the wing out a little bit. Flip that tread piece out, and then it tabs right into here. And then you just fold the wing. You want to make sure you want to go ahead and get this off to the side here, or at least flip this around. If you have this all the way already up, make sure that this tab is on this side of the wing, because you don't want to get it trapped on the other side. And then just push that wing all the way into the leg. Like I said, I like to go ahead and, you can push this wherever right now, but I like to flip that in at the end of the transformation. And you kind of do the same thing as on the jet. You can see how this flares out on the top of this tab, and it's going into that same slot as the jet wing. So you kind of want to come from underneath, and then once you get that in place, rotate this right here at this hinge so that this tab right here pegs into the tread, and that holds on very solidly. Same on this side. Yeah, again, it helps if you pull that tread out before you pull the wing in. There we go. Had that twisted wrong. And again, come up from underneath on this tab, and then rotate it so that pegs in. And again, you rotate the turret, and like I said, I like to take these and fold them up like this, so they fill in that gap there around the nose cone. Just helps it look like a more cohesive, solid piece from the top. Bring that around. Make sure the gun actually comes up all the way up to come through the turret like that. And then these panels right here, like I said, you flip these up. Kind of have to reach around and there we go, and snap them up into place to fill in that gap. Just like that, and there's tank mode. And again, you can plug the sword onto the side. There's one on either side. I like to plug it right in here just for symmetry, but it really is up to you. Plug the gun in on top. Come on. See, now the sword got hooked onto those fins. And there's tank mode. And we're all back where we started. So, now, when we first saw the solicitations for these, we were told they were War for Cybertron Voyagers, and we were getting War for Cybertron Voyager Springer and War for Cybertron Voyager Astrotrain. Was how the listings first coalesced, and then it turns out it was actually not War for Cybertron. It was just Generation Springer and Blitzwing. However, if you wish, go ahead and put that back in there for now. You can take this turret, and if you take it and spin it all the way around like this, flip out these little fins right here, and then bring the feet down and under like this, and then flip those fins out like to the side like that, you can get what personally I feel, I mean, you can disagree, and I'm fine with that. That's what makes the world go round and all that good stuff. But you can flip that around and get actually a pretty decent, convincing War for Cybertron-esque hover tank out of it, which I'm pretty happy with. I like it. So there you go. If you want to have a War for Cybertron Blitzwing, I guess you just got one. But yeah, we'll get him back to tank mode here. Real easy to do. Yeah, there he is, Generations Voyager Blitzwing.